Hello, welcome back. I think I'm live again. Let me just have a look here. Can anybody see me? There we are. Great. Okay. Yeah, we had a bit of a power failure here, unfortunately. So we've had to kind of rejig everything and go again. I was getting into the the topic, which was the Memphis commercial appeal. Let me just do something here, though. I need to do something quickly or I won't be able to see your chat. So let me just go pop out chat. This is what I normally have to do before I come on stream. Copy. Okay, sorry about this, folks. I do hope you'll just bear with me a second. Custom browse docs, do that. I won't be able to see what you're saying, you see. Okay, paste that and apply. These are the sort of things I have to do as we... there you are. I see you all again now. Sorry about that. We had a power outage. The power just dipped out and back on again, but it was enough to actually lose... obviously lose the stream. So where was I? Memphis commercial appeal. Yes, this week ran the story that lots and lots of other media outlets were covering. Obviously the news about Baz news. So let me just make sure. Say hi in the chat again if you can see me. Rossi says gone again. No, I don't think I have. Okay. Let me just see. Yeah, it doesn't look too good, does it? Although it is actually coming back up slowly but surely. Anway says, is it thunder? Could well be. Could have been thunder. Yeah, we've had a lot of sort of... Well, we had a thunderstorm yesterday afternoon, actually, yeah. Okay. So I'm coming and going. Okay. Am I coming and going? Right, all right. Could be the thunder. All right, Rhubarb. Hello, Rhubarb. I can see and hear you. Lily says, I thought it was my phone. Okay, am I still coming and going or is it settled? Because I don't want to be coming and going if we're doing the topic. Chris R says, I just got you back. Okay. All right. If it was a strike, then it could just be coming in and out. My meter is now telling me that I am full. We can hear you now, so go ahead. Thanks, Dylan. Rossi says all good. Yeah, it was just sort of reloading, I believe. Lily Ramos says you're okay now, Steve. Settled. Thanks, Dean. I hope I'm saying your name right. Pat Shepherd says you are here. Great. Okay. So for anybody that missed the first half of this, go back and see the quiz and everything first on the first part. I'm going to have 2 live shows this week that says about epic movie release date. Well, we're getting into the kernel of it now. Excuse me. And as I say, the Memphis appeal said word for word just about what every other media outlet said, but there was a little bit extra at the end. And what it was this. It seems certain that Baz, an advocate for the big screen, big sound experience, will insist that the movie receive a theatrical run before it becomes available for home viewing. But no release date has been announced. Now, this is the key thing now. We would estimate it to be late 2026, 2027. To tie the movie in with the hoopla that will accompany Graceland's recognition of the 50th anniversary of Elvis's death, August 16th, 1977. Now, 2026, 2027 Surely not. Surely not. Stop calling me Shirley. Surely not. Yeah, Rossi says what? It's unbelievable to think. I mean, why is he teasing it so far away if it's not going to be 2026 or even 2027? 2027 is 50 years. 2026 is 49 years. He's doing all this work now, though. I don't quite understand. Good grief, I could be anywhere then. Pat, I hope you're still here. I hope that you and I are sat here discussing the new movie. Stian, 2025, Baz said so. Great. That's great. That's great. Okay, well, I haven't seen anything at all from Baz about any date whatsoever. I really haven't. And then for the Memphis commercial appeal to say 2026, 2027 sends shivers down my spine. It really does send shivers down my spine. Somebody's just sent me a message here about the feed. I just want to make sure that we are working okay. Steve Barilli. Hi, Steve. How are you? The release date is just the author's opinion. Well, I hope so. I really do hope so. But they always say there's no smoke without fire. And the Memphis commercial appeal normally has their finger on the pulse. So let me know what you think anyway about that. If it is 2026, 2027, what would you do if it was 2026, 2027? There's not a whole pile we can do though, is there? Now, I want to do the poll here. And it is... Okay, I can't do the poll because unfortunately, with the outlet or the outage, the power outage, I've actually lost all the information on the poll. So I can keep the poll until next week, and it's a good one. It is a good one, but unfortunately, I can't do it this week. So sorry about that. If we hadn't lost power, I would be doing a poll now. Right, we're going to do, well, we're not going to do Hidden Elvis 1. We're going to do,
one.
We're going to do this.
Hidden Elvis. Clue number 2.
Clue number 2. Oh, that power outage is going to keep me on my toes tonight because we're not going to be able to do everything that I hoped we could do. The poll being the big one. But anyway, don't worry. I'll tell you, it's a good one. So come back next week and enjoy the poll that I was going to do this week. Right. Hidden clue number 2 is Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. There you go. What do you think of that? That's clue number 2. Now, I hope that the power outage didn't hurt my telephone lines because...
It's time once again for Dylan's Elvis Tale.
I really, really hope that you're going to say hello to me, Dylan.
So do I, and I hope that we've not lost the pictures for the tale.
No, I don't think we have. No, I can still see the pictures, but
Good.
I can't see the poll, unfortunately. So, but let's keep that on ice because actually, let's let them into a little secret. This is a poll. It's a picture poll that Dylan suggested during the week. So we'll use that next week. So everybody look forward to that. These things happen. The acts of God. I would say it was a lightning strike because it just went bang, and then 30 seconds later, up again. So, right. So
it was louder than Ronnie's drum roll.
Yeah, it was. We had a heck of a downpour and big rolls of thunder yesterday, so I'd say that's what it is. So let's do the Dylan's Elvis tale then.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bit of bad news.
Oh, go on.
I've just had a complete mind blank.
Why have you? You don't know what you don't know what it's about.
No, I forgot.
That's a lightning strike. It struck your brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you look on the screen, right, you'll see the pictures.
Hang on. Oh my God!
I'll tell you, viewers, this is comedy gold.
Hang on. What? Oh, it's that one. Okay, it's that one.
Do you know you need to start making notes? That's what you need to start.
I do. I can guarantee you Brent's loving this right now. I can guarantee you. Alright, so it's that one. So, it is. So, a few weeks ago, we was talking about the Royal Dark Blue fireworks, also known as the owl suit,
Yeah.
and how it changes colours under the eyes.
Yeah.
So, I thought, what other suits is it? So, the first one is the classic example, which is the owl suit. Now, the first owl picture is of the suit in the natural light.
Okay, so that's that one. That's it there coming up now. Okay, that's the natural. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the dark blue
Okay.
colour.
Then
There's another owl picture, which shows it purple.
yeah, it does look purple.
It does. Now, contrary to what everybody says about Elvis having a purple owl, he didn't have a purple owl. It was blue.
Okay.
It turned purple.
Under the lights.
No, well, yeah, but no, it turned purple in real life.
Oh.
It's what it did. But it is blue.
Okay.
And then the other example is the green Cisco kid. Now, this is the really interesting one.
Okay.
Both of these pictures were taken on the same night, about 20 minutes apart.
Okay.
So the backstage picture
All
is
right.
the natural light.
Okay. Well, let's get that. Let's get that one up. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
So the backstage picture. Yeah, he's standing in front of a white wall. Okay.
And that's kind of like a dark green.
Yeah.
A darkish green colour. Well,
Yeah.
emerald green, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And then the one on the stage
Let's have a look. It's coming up now. There it is on stage.
is the same night, same suit, but now, as you can see, it's turned lime green.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, you're
Oh.
right.
But it is the same exact suit, and it's the same night, which makes it even kind of stranger how
Yeah.
the same suit taken, 20 minutes apart or so,
Mm-hmm.
it can change in an instant.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the one that I wanted to tell.
The one for me, the one that's most striking is the owl suit, the one that looks purple in the second photograph.
Yeah.
It's just it's really really striking difference.
Well, I think the green one is the most striking because it's on the same night.
Well, yes, I suppose you're right. Let's get that up again. Hang on a second. So you've got Elvis backstage in front of a white background, and then probably about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes later, but exactly the same night anyway. And there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the
Fascinating. Now, answer me this: what do you think? What do you think of the Memphis Commercial Appeal article saying that it's going to be either 2026 or 2027?
Right. So I know I said this as a joke last week, but it's becoming more and more real. The people that have been campaigning for this literally decades before I was even thought of, they might not be here to see their hard work if Baz doesn't hurry up.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it. They've been the ones that have been campaigning. It's not been me.
Mm-hmm.
It's been the fans of the 70s and the 80s that have been saying, come on, let's get the footage out. And now it's finally happening. Once it comes out, I'm scared that they're not going to be able to see it.
But do you think it is going to be 2026, 2027?
I hope it's 2025.
So do I. I hope it's next. I hope it's next week.
I hope it's tomorrow.
Yeah. I just can't see him holding off for another 1 or even 2 years. I mean, that would just be crazy, wouldn't it?
I mean, I know Baz likes to milk it, but this is kind of taking it a bit too far.
Yeah, I mean, how could he stretch it out another 2 years? I just don't think he can. And like Steve Barilli says, now Steve is in connection with Follow That Dream. I had Steve on the show there a few years ago, and Steve says it's just the author's opinion. I hope it is. I don't know where they plucked 2026, 2027 out. Well, they're trying to say it's the 50th anniversary, aren't they? That's what they're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get a lot of stories that are just the author's opinions.
Yeah. Mrs. EAP Elaine says Baz wouldn't do that to us. No, I don't think he would. He wouldn't be. He wouldn't be allowed. There'd be a riot.
He likes to tease, but I don't think he likes to tease.
He doesn't like to tease that long. Are you going to tease next week's tale?
This tale next week is what is known in the business as an absolute zinger.
Oh, aye. Go on.
So my dear friend Rick Lowe from Elvis.
Oh, yes.
He showed some photographs there the other month about a suit that I forgot existed. I forgot that this suit even existed. And so today I got his permission to use the photographs. So it's going to be a rare suit from 1973 that I doubt a lot of people won't even know.
So it'll be thanks to Rick as well, yeah? From A to Z.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, young man. Talk to you next week. All righty. Cheers. Bye.
Join us again next week for another Dylan's Elvis tale.
Yeah, join us next week. Now, that power outage has really thrown me. It has. I feel like a nervous wreck now. And I do apologise not being able to do the poll, but look forward to it next week, and it is a good one. It really is a good one. Now, we've got Vincenzo on the line. Hi, Vincenzo.
Steve.
How are you?
Doing good.
Did you enjoy the watch-along last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad Juliana found a good copy too.
Yeah, yes. Thanks to Juliana for finding a really, really good copy of Loving You. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? We had a lot of people online actually watching.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? Do you think Baz is going to keep us waiting till 2027?
No, I've been reading on Instagram and Facebook. It says Thanksgiving 2025.
Thanksgiving, brilliant. That's not that far off. That's November. I can definitely live with November 2025. So why would you think that somebody like the Memphis Commercial Appeal would write 2026, 2027? Is it just guesswork or what?
Say it was the 50th anniversary, like you said.
Yeah, no, I don't think Baz will wait that long. Yeah, he's just plucked those out of the air, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, cheers, Vincenzo. All the best. Bye. So that's Vincenzo. And let's see what else we've got here. Ah, yes, we have the young lady herself, Juliana. Hi, Juliana.
Hello. How are you?
Hey, thanks for your help last night on that beautiful, beautiful movie, Loving You. Absolutely.
I'm glad I could find it in color with that good of a scan.
Yeah, it was crystal clear, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, it was funny. I was out most of the day, actually. I don't know if you saw, but I was at a car show, and then I had an Elvis tribute show that I went to. So that was super fun. I got home about 15 minutes before I put the movie on. Yeah. So I was really
brilliant. Well, we could have delayed another 15 minutes if we really needed to, but that's great that it started on time.
I needed to get out of the sun because let me tell you, Steve, I am burnt to a crisp. It was raining all morning until I pulled up to the car show and it cleared out, and I'm thinking, oh, it's not going to be that hot.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm very fair-skinned as well, and I get burnt very, very easily. So,
oh yeah,
I feel your pain. I really do. So, what would you like to say?
I mean, we don't got the poll. I mean, man, you got a storm or something going on there?
I think we must have somewhere. I mean, before I drew the curtains for to set up and everything, it was grand. So I don't know what it was, but it had all the markings of a lightning strike because it was off and back on again in 30 seconds. So I don't know.
Just long enough to cause you a bunch of chaos.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I just realized your other stream is now back up and they're both playing.
Oh.
Because I was in the other chat and I was talking to, I think it was Sandra, and she was like, "Is there another chat going on? Because none of our comments are showing up." And I was like, "Wait, maybe there is." So I looked, and somehow, for some reason, they're both playing right now. There's about 9 people in the other one.
I wonder is there a way I can? No, I can only see one stream here. That's very strange.
I know, it's so weird. I don't know. YouTube is being a little bit glitchy today, but I don't know. Anyway, so the whole 2026, 2027 thing, I don't know. I was talking to Scott the other day, and when the article started circulating.
Yeah.
And I think you had mentioned it, but to me, that just seems like a personal opinion of whoever wrote it.
I hope so, because 2027 is an awful long time to wait.
Yeah, well, and then I also got to think, and I remember Baz saying somewhere that he was going to release it by the end of the year. So I actually, while you were coming back up from the power outage, I went back in his Instagram and I actually found the post where he specifically said by the end of the year, and it was May 1st, right before the Met Gala, and he had reposted some old pictures from the 2022 Met Gala, and he said in the caption of this May 1st post from this year, speaking of Elvis, the Elvis Presley in concert documentary is coming before the end of the year. So, I mean, those are the words of Baz Luhrmann himself.
Brilliant. So really, then what it is the Memphis commercial appeal just have got it all wrong, really, haven't they? They just haven't done their research.
Which is interesting to me because they quote it. I read the article cover to cover a couple of times. They quote Baz quite often in it, but they, I guess, didn't seem to find that. I mean, granted, it was a very small, kind of passing sentence in one of his Instagram posts, but I feel like the whole end of the year deadline for him is very well known as far as when he's going to be releasing it. At least for me, like every time I talk to somebody about the documentary, we all know it's going to be by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I think I knew I wasn't going crazy.
and the previous caller said that they thought it was going to be Thanksgiving, which is November, which would probably make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that seems to be the most popular opinion right now, and I think the biggest theory, or the most well-known theory, or most accepted, whatever you want to call it, I think is he's going to start really pushing advertising and everything in July, August.
Yes.
When Elvis Week comes around, he can really push the trailer and everything for probably November. For whatever reason, that just kind of seems like it would make the most sense.
November would be good for the Christmas market as well.
Yes, it would. And I'm sure he probably knows all about that, especially if he wants it in theaters, which, if we know anything about Baz, he wants it in theaters.
Yeah. There's probably going to be something in July. We might even get a trailer or something in July. And then we'll get something even bigger, as you say, during Elvis Week. We might get a snippet of something in the in Graceland, their theatre. They have a theatre, don't they? You might get something a bit more for Elvis Week.
That's what I'm thinking. Now I'm going to bring this up again, but my hope is that while I'm in Vegas at the end of July, going to this big Elvis celebration, is that they'll say something there. Is that a little bit far-fetched? Yes, but one can hope.
No, you never know. You never know. Fingers crossed for you, anyway. True.
But I mean, it's funny because I just booked my room to stay in the International Hotel. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I think you can visit the showroom as well. I think you can.
And it's funny you say that because I'm actually going to be going to see a recreation of his Vegas opening night in that exact showroom.
Oh wow! And also, they left the bit of the stage where he stood before he came on. They left that there. They've left that untouched. I'm not sure whether you can visit that little part as well. I've seen people with photographs of it and them standing on it, and the king was here and all that. It says behind it, So I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah.
There's a couple of different things that within the hotel that I want to check out, but I want to try and find some other places in Vegas that he went to. I found out the other day that the Aladdin Hotel, where he and Priscilla got married, is no longer standing. That apparently got demolished in 1998. So I'm trying to do as much research as I can to try and find some places to go.
Yeah,
to.
because
I'll be there for 3 days. So.
There's not a lot of old Vegas left, is there? The 60s, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But you'll have a great time. You really will. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it.
So excited. Yeah, I've told everybody. I said I'm going to take all the pictures, all the videos. Dylan just said, he said there's a cross on the stage where he used to stand.
Yeah.
So maybe if I get in there lucky enough before anything starts, maybe I can go and find it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Alrighty.
Well, I will talk to you.
Yes, talk to you again. Bye-bye. Bye. Thanks, Juliana, for ringing in. And we move on to Mark. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hi, Steve. How you doing? We lost you for a bit, didn't we?
That Mother Nature, huh?
You're like Houdini.
So what do you think? The Memphis commercial appeal, what do you think?
paper thing, isn't it? Probably just doing something to write, running out of words. They probably don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta admit, looking at the article, a lot of it was copy and paste from a lot of the other articles. But then they seem to tag this little bit on the end, and I'm thinking, 2026, 2027.
Yeah, the only person who knows would be Baz. And Baz will tell. We're 6 months for the year now, so it could come out for Christmas 6 months' time. Even the worst scenario, it could come out in his birthday in January 2026.
Yeah.
You don't know, do you?
Yeah.
You don't know. It's going to be in the next 6 months, I would have thought. 7 months. I would have thought, like you spoke about, with probably get some kind of promotion come August. A little trailer or something again, promoting it for the end of the year. I'm sure we'll get more snippets of it,
Yeah, I think we'll get something else next month, July. Then a biggie in August at Graceland during Elvis Week. Maybe in the theatre there.
You've got to have a big push in the promotion, haven't you? Then?
And I think that they'll give the release date then in August. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're going to get, as I said to you, it wouldn't be surprised me if Baz is not there. On Elvis Week, and he's there at the guest house and says a few words about conversations with Baz or something like that, and they can talk about the upcoming thing like so. Yeah, I think I know we all need it to rush out and we're eager, but I'd rather, as you would, take his time a little bit more if he's got a little bit more to do yet. Get it right, and it comes out, and every fan is pleased with it, and and we all love it.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna rush it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Steve.
All the best, Mark.
And yeah, take
Bye.
care.
Bye. Okay, that was Mark, and we move on to Brent. Hi, Brent. Brent, how are you, Brent? Has Brent been struck by lightning like I was? Okay. Hi, Brent. I'm wondering, should I come back to Brent? I've definitely not done anything to Brent. He should be there. Can you hear me, Brent?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Okay. Yeah, that was the electrical storm trying to mess with me or whatever was going on. Just an excuse.
Could have been.
Truthfully, Steve, I had my mic on. I don't want to really admit that in front of every... Oh, I just did. Okay. How are you doing, Steve?
Yeah. Well, apart from the lightning strike, I think I'm doing fine.
Well, you know what? I gotta give you some kudos for yesterday because I was volunteering at an event and I was so tempted. I took a breather to go out and to get something to drink real fast. I gotta check in on the movie for a couple seconds.
All right.
And it turned out to have such a deleterious effect because I felt like the kid who was in the hospital room rubbing his nose against the window, watching all the kids have fun playing out. Oh, I want to go and watch the movie too. Why do I go? I mean, it was volunteer work, so it was a noble thing. But part of me was like, I want to be with them right now.
Yeah, why can't I join in? I tell you, we had a great time.
Because I'm like, it's like the old saying, a taste of honey is worse than none at all.
Yeah.
I should have never done that to begin with. Now I go back but it was, that is such a great novel thing that you got going on because it's one thing that when we talk about Elvis, but when we witness him collectively, it adds a whole nother level.
Yes.
To the whole thing.
Yeah. Just for people that don't know, we've started doing a watch along. There it is on the screen now. And basically we're going to do all Elvis movies. And we've only got to number 2, which is Loving You. So we've got another 30 odd to go. So it's going to be great.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I'm not missing the next one. I don't care. Let the children in Africa starve. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I'm just saying though. Sometimes you do have to watch though, because you're international, and some Europeans might think I'm being very, very serious.
No, that was definitely tongue in cheek. Definitely tongue in cheek.
Yes, disclaimer. I do that all the time because I don't know why I get self-deprecating on my show and stuff, and I get people from other countries going, "Why are you so hard on yourself?" You are.
Self-deprecating is right.
Yes. But you know what, Steve? As for Baz Luhrmann,
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to say exactly the same as Steve Barilli. I mean, they're just guessing. They're just picking that out of the air, aren't they?
well, I think we are, yeah, because first of all, I think he kind of wants you to do that because that's another sign that the whole Mystique bubble is evolving, and he's going to pop it when he wants to. And Steve really is just so connected with all the Elvis stuff going on and stuff. He's really a good source. So if he says it, I kind of tend to go along with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think it's wait and see. But I'll tell you what, though. That Thanksgiving is so much of a better time period than the summer because I'll tell you why. A lot of movies get buried in the shuffle under all these superhero things or whatever that tend to be marketed for the summer.
Yeah.
If you release it in Thanksgiving time, late November, it has a whole lot of room to breathe because it's a great time. People are done with their celebrations. They want to go to a movie. What a great time to go and catch something Elvis related.
He definitely wants it to go theatrical first and then go to the small screen for streaming. So,
and I say it should behoove us to all go and buy a ticket, even if you're not the type to go to the movies, because the support that we give to these projects, they look at that support to see if it's worth investing in other Elvis projects.
yeah.
And it's not a guaranteed cash cow. Unlike people think as long as it's a movie, it's going to make gazillions of dollars, and that's not always the case, Steve.
Now, another thing is something like this has to be seen on the big screen. You know, they've gone to all the trouble of remastering it and sharpening it up and everything like that. So go and see it on the big screen, basically.
Well, think about this too, Steve. When you saw the Elvis movie in the theater, the first song they really featured was that part of Trilogy. They're having that, flashback of that night. Can you remember what it felt like pounding through the speakers in the cinema? Just amazing.
It was amazing.
You're
Yeah.
shortchanging yourself by not seeing it in a cinema.
Yeah, I agree. All right, young man. Thanks very much as always, and thanks for supporting us as always.
All right.
Cheers, Ren. Bye. Bye. Right. Okay. I think that's the end of the calls for today. Unless somebody else would like to get into the queue. Thanks very much. All very, very good callers. And we're going to... Yes, I'm going to close my call. And I'm going to do this.
It's time now for This Day in Elvis History.
Yes, June the 8th, down through the years. If it's a red letter day for you, or... an anniversary, anything like that, and you wanted to know what Elvis was doing on your anniversary or a red letter day, June the 8th. Well, in 1955, he performed at the Auditorium, Sweetwater, Texas. That's a lovely name, isn't it? Sweetwater, Texas. 1956, Elvis performed at the Shrine Auditorium, Los Angeles. Why haven't I got the pictures that I wanted for the Shrine? Okay. Did I lose those in the power outage? It does look like I did. Yeah. That's very strange, isn't it? Very strange. I lost those, but I didn't lose any of the other pictures. That's really strange, isn't it? And they were some really, really good photographs from the Shrine Auditorium as well. However, what I can do is I can show you those next week. Okay, 1957, Jailhouse Rock. Let's have a look. What's that there? 1958. What's that doing there? Goodness me, it really messed with my my show, that power outage. Jailhouse Rock, yes. And then 1958, he was at Graceland on leave from military service. However, he was getting ready to travel to RCA Studio B in Nashville for the final recording session of the 50s. He wouldn't step foot in the recording studio again until Sunday, March 20th, 1960 at 8 p.m. Yep, believe it or not, that's the last time. That's the whole period he lost from June 1958 to March 20th, 1960. No recording whatsoever. Okay, then we've got 1959. He was in the General Hospital in Frankfurt with tonsillitis and a high fever. Not good. I've done Jailhouse Rock. GI Blues, 1960. Wild in the Country had its premiere in Memphis. There you go, Hope Lange, Tuesday Weld, Millie Perkins, Elvis Presley, Wild in the Country. Okay. Girls, Girls, Girls. Principal photography finished on that movie on June the 8th. He was working on Frankie and Johnny. And 1967, the staff at Graceland throw a baby shower for Priscilla. Elvis was not in a good mood when he got to the Memphian this night. The grass at the ranch had not been cut, and he made the remark, if it's not cut by tomorrow night, I'm going to go down and burn that bleep, 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 160 acres. So he definitely wasn't in a good mood about it. The first movie was The Naked Runner, and the second movie he watched was The Viscount. In 1968, we've got US Mail hit number 15 in the UK. Okay. And then we've got 1969. Elvis was down at the Graceland Gates again, signing autographs and talking with fans. And it looks like I've lost those photographs as well in the power outage. Okay. Later, he rented the Memphian. Elvis arrived at 12:30 a.m. in his Lincoln. The movies were Goldfinger and Heaven with a Gun. 1970, he was at Studio B in Nashville, and he recorded, well, between 6 p.m. and 4:30 a.m., he recorded There Goes My Everything, If I Were You, Only Believe, Sylvia, and Patch It Up. Okay, and believe it or not, exactly 12 months later, June the 8th, 1971, Studio B again, between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m., and he recorded Until It's Time for You to Go, Put Your Hand in the Hand and Reach Out to Jesus. 1972, Elvis flew in to New York City, where he arrived at the Hilton for the first stop of his new tour. Well, we know where he was starting, MSG. And when I say MSG, I don't mean monosodium glutamate, okay? I mean Madison Square Garden, okay? Huge, huge start to the tour, that. Now, it looks like I didn't lose these photographs, and I'm glad, because in 1975, Elvis performed at the State Fair Coliseum, Jackson, Mississippi, at 2:30 and 8:30. Here's the 2:30. He was in the black and white Phoenix. So let's have a look at some of these photographs. Elvis wearing the hat. Great action shot. It's almost like he's looking right at the camera there. He's saying something to Charlie there by the looks of it. Different coloured scarves as well throughout the show. He had yellow, red and white by the looks of it. So 6 hours later, they did another show, 8:30, and this time he was in the silver, what they call the Silver Phoenix jumpsuit. Elvis again looking extremely handsome. June the 8th. Not a hat this time, but a towel by the looks of it, or a scarf. And JD trying not to laugh. It looks to be quite a small stage, that. Elvis looking very quizzical at an audience member. I'd say that's during CC Rider. He still has a guitar on. Right, so that was down through the years, this day in Elvis history. We've got another one of these.
Hidden Elvis, clue number 3.
And this is very simply to go with number 1 and number 2. Railroad. Okay, Railroad. Don't tell me yet what you think it is. Hold off until the fourth clue. In case you already know, you might already know by me giving you that clue. Now, we've got to move on to a song I wish Elvis had recorded, kindly sent in by Jonathan. Jonathan, thanks very much for sending this in. And it's Castles in the Air. Now, Castles in the Air is a song by American singer-songwriter Don McLean, which he originally released as his debut single in 1971 and subsequently re-recorded and re-released a decade later. The song describes a man who is unsatisfied with his weary, off and urban lifestyle. Although native to the city, he decides to forsake not only his urban castle in the air, but also his love interest there. Because of his desire for and love of the country life, he decides to seek romance with a like-minded woman. Recorded in 1970, Castles in the Air was McLean's first American single release preceding American Pie. The original version of Castles in the Air was included on the Tapestry album. In January 1971, it was released as the first single from the album and reached number 40 on the Billboard Easy Listening Contemporary chart. So some of the... if you can imagine Elvis wanting to get away from the hubbub and all the pressures of his life, can you imagine him singing these lines? Save me from all the trouble and the pain. I know I'm weak, but I can't face that girl again. Tell her the reason why I can't remain. Perhaps she'll understand if you tell it to her plain. And later he says, I'll start again. Hills of forest green, where the mountain touch the sky, a dream come true. I'll live there till I die. I'm asking you to say my last goodbye. The love we knew ain't worth another try. So there you are. That's this week's I Wish Elvis Had Recorded, suggested by Jonathan. Thank you very, very much, Jonathan, for sending that in. You can, of course, suggest your song that you wish that Elvis had recorded. If you're going about your weekly business and you hear a song playing and you think, I wish Elvis had recorded that, well, send it in to me. And I'll put a link down below for the Castles in the Air from Don McLean.
It's time now for Caption the Photo.
I'd normally throw in a reminder about the caption, not the caption, the poll, but with the lightning strike, we lost it, unfortunately. We didn't lose the caption, this photo, and this was it. An extremely attractive young lady there with Elvis, and he seems to be examining her earrings, and I asked you to send in a caption, and these are some of the ones that got quite a few thumbs up, but it didn't get the most thumbs up. And Lowell Hayes, okay, here we go. Just got to do something here. Lowell Hayes is the greatest. They are just how I told him to make them. Ear, what's going on, ear? Did you get these from Woolworths? Wow, I am sure one good-looking dude... No, sorry, I'll start again. Wow, I sure am one good-looking dude. Sorry, honey, wasn't looking at your earring. I was looking at the reflection in the diamond. Diamonds may be a girl's best friend, ma'am, but they'd make me a great pair of cufflinks. If you were with me, the diamonds would be a lot bigger. But the winner, as voted for by you, is Dylan's Wonderful World of Elvis. Congratulations, Dylan. He was on earlier on with a tail. The walls have ears, and so do you. So that's the one that got the most thumbs up. I'll be posting another caption, this photo, on Tuesday, probably, on the posts tab on this YouTube channel. Now, underrated Elvis song. Don't forget, coming up in a few minutes is the Wheel of Fortune, which I will spin, and it will give May's winner a Fan of the Month. Okay? So, but underrated is chosen by you, Brent. If you're still watching, I hope you're still watching. He was on the phone there a few minutes ago. And it's Solitaire. Yes, Solitaire is this one. is a ballad composed by Neil Sedaka with lyrics by Phil Cody and originally recorded by Sedaka on his 1972 album Solitaire. It uses the card game as a metaphor for a man who lost his love through his indifference. While life goes on all around him everywhere, he's playing solitaire. A version by Andy Williams reached number 4 in the UK singles chart in 1973. In 1975, the song was a US top single for the Carpenters. Sedaka originally was inspired by Frédéric Chopin, his favourite classical composer, for the chorus, and by Roberta Flack in the verses. When he presented the tune to Cody, he came up with the words based on his recent divorce. Cody had been playing solitaire frequently as a coping mechanism. Both Sedaka and Cody considered the composition to be a spiritual experience. The Carpenters recorded the song for the 1975 Horizon album. I don't know whether I've got that there. No, I don't think I've got that. I might have. Yeah, no, I don't. No. Okay. Right. And Richard Carpenter, familiar with the song via the version by Neil Sedaka and Andy Williams, was not crazy about the song, but he felt he could showcase Karen's vocal expertise. Despite assessing the vocal performance on Solitaire as one of her greatest, Richard says she never really liked the song and she never changed her opinion. But of course, the version we are interested in is Elvis's version, and it obviously appeared on From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, and it was recorded in the Jungle Room February 3rd, stroke 4th, Tuesday, Wednesday. And let's see, he did how many takes? He did about 11 takes before he got to the master. A lot of them were long false starts or false starts. 4 of them were complete. And as I say, then 11 became the master. They also did brass and strings overdubs on March 24th at Young & Sound Studio in Nashville, March the 24th, which was a Wednesday. Brent said about this recording, "I think the melancholia that drains from Solitaire, along with its endearing melodic haunting, makes it a total gem." As I said, Solitaire appeared on the LP From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, released May 1976. On the original release, it was track 3 on side 2 of the album. Now, this is what I was trying to show you earlier on. After Elvis's death, it was released on this album, Our Memories of Elvis, and it was released as a single along with Are You Sincere to promote the 1979 album Our Memories of Elvis, which featured Elvis recordings without the Felton Jarvis overdubs. And that's the version of Solitaire I prefer, I must admit. Now, the cover shot, yeah, you see how they look, Colonel and Vernon look like they're standing in front of Graceland. Well, they're not actually. This was the original picture. They were actually facing Graceland by the looks of it. Or maybe they were around the side, I don't know. But anyway, that's basically what you've got. You've got that, and then you've got that. So I just wanted to share that with you, that that cover shot is not all it seems. Early Photoshop. So thanks to Brent for that. I'll put a link down below for you to listen to Solitaire. I might even link the one that has no overdubs on it, because that's the one I actually like. We move on, and we move on to this. Oh yeah, if you can, just by Elvis's head there, subscribe and click the black bell, turn it black. I would be most appreciated. Most appreciated. Now, Hidden Elvis, yes.
Hidden Elvis, fourth and final clue.
The fourth and final clue is Travis. Travis. Okay? So, do you know what the Hidden Elvis was from 1943, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, Railroad, and Travis? Patricia Pike says Billy Smith. What else have we got? David Loman says Uncle Travis. Yeah, that's clue number 4. Mrs. EAP says Billy Smith as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, basically, anybody that's Edwidge says Billy Smith as well. Basically, anybody that's typing Billy Smith is quite correct, because that was the hidden Elvis this week. Elvis's cousin, Billy Smith. And if you're not sure how I got to that, 1943 was the year that Billy was born. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain is the song that Elvis sang for Billy and Joe and Ginger. It was the last song that he actually sang in the racquetball court. Also, we've got the Railroad. Well, Billy did leave Elvis for a short time and he worked for the Railroad. And then Travis is obviously his father. So that was Hidden Elvis this week. And thanks to everybody that took part and typed Billy Smith. Thanks very much indeed. Oh, yes. Do you know what we have to do now? We have to do the winner of the Fan of the Month for May. And as you can see, we've got everybody's name on the wheel. Juliana, Ian Mackay, Mike M, Brian Roberts, John Rowley, Banjo Paul, Helen Murray, Timothy Lee, Helen Ludlow, and Dylan Bowen. And without further ado, I am going to spin this wheel. The tension. There we go. It's John Rowley? No, it's Brian. Congratulations, Brian Roberts. You are the winner of the May Fan of the Month. So, Brian, if you want to get in contact with me, and we will organise a prize for you. And congratulations, Brian. I'm pretty sure everybody else is saying Elvis Nation is saying congrats, Brian. I think that new way is probably the fairest way of selecting the winner. You get your name down on the sheet. If you're the first correct answer, your name goes down on the sheet, then your name goes on the wheel. And Chris R says, congratulations, Brian. Shirley, Jill, Lily, yes, congratulations. Now, what have we got to do? Well, we've got to do...
Oh, he's so hot.
Couldn't leave you without this, of course. And it's this one from, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is from the Speedway era. I think could even be taken sometime at the time he was filming Speedway. You can actually let me know if you think that is Speedway. Does everybody think that's Speedway? What do you think of it anyway? David Lohman says, Brian, check-in post. Chris says, oh my thud. Edward says, gorgeous. Doreen says, Karen says he is so handsome. Doreen it says, be still my beating heart. Rossi says, good shout, Steve. Yeah, love the hair. Yeah, fantastic hair there. The hairstyle reminds me of Speedway. I do think it's probably Speedway. Yeah. Those pieces of hair always fell on his forehead. Well, talking of that, the watch along last night, Loving You, he had serious hair falling on his forehead for some of those songs, and especially the Mean Woman Blues and the fight and everything like that. A lot of hair falling. And when he was singing Got a Lot of Living to Do at the end as well, and poor Gladys was in the audience, and I pointed it out to everybody when we were watching it that he actually at one point turns and smiles at her and then turns away again, and it's such a lovely moment. So that's this week's Smoking Hot. You can send in your Smoking Hot photo if you want. In fact, you can send me in various ideas if you want to do that. You can send me in your underrated songs, Smoking Hot photos, songs you wish he'd recorded or sung live, funny caption photos. You can suggest topics for the discussion. All those things you can send in for me. And I will just say, if you do enjoy the show, please thumbs up, and also if you can subscribe as well if you haven't. And if you do feel generous and you think I'm doing a good job, you can also use the link below and buy me a cup of coffee or two. Or you can sort of scan the QR code as well, and that will take you directly to the Buy Me a Coffee. But for now, that was a very, very strange show because of the power outage. We'll probably have two live streams. We'll have the first 10 or 15 minutes up to the end of the quiz, and then you can hop over to the next video and watch the rest of it after the power outage. But yeah. Oh, and next week as well, because we couldn't do the poll, we've got a really, really good poll for you. So make sure you join in for that. But Elvis has got something to tell you.
All right, let's wrap it up and get out of here.
Thanks to Chris and Dave for moderating. Thanks to the callers, all great callers. Thanks to everybody for bearing with me through the power outage. And thanks to everybody that took part in tonight and commented and took part in the quiz and everything like that. But until next week, hopefully with no power outages, it's over to Al.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.